Arizona here, asking you how would you fix America?
Cooperation, which I don't think we're going to see from our leaders. So it's going to have to be the people. I don't know what people who are occupying cities hope to gain, but at least they're letting people know that they're pissed about something, because we've been taking a lot of shit going on and no one has been responding to. And I know people are going, I'm not highly educated, but I know that people go to college and they spend a lot of money, a lot of their folks' money, and they come out of it, and basically I just heard somewhere that 85% of the college graduates are living back with their folks.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they've got, their student loan is like a mortgage on a house. And yet they can't find a job. Maybe they took the wrong courses, I don't know. I think there are not enough jobs here because they were sent overseas and they're a lot cheaper. But somewhere along the lines, everyone's got to cooperate. And I don't know where it's going to come from, because the two parties are so divided, But it's got to be cooperation. Someone's got to say, look, for the benefit of all America, we got to put partisan bullshit aside. And I don't know. I have to say, I never really thought about it until really recently, because when I moved from Oregon to Arizona, I didn't get cable TV. I had it, and when I saw what they were offering, I said, these guys are crooks. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, I go online and I read, and I don't have to go to any really weird conspiracy sites or any far left or far right sites, just the basic news. And then I noticed I started this trend where I go down and I start reading the comments from the people. It's scary. It's really scary. There's such a divide and a polarization. I don't know if they're just shit disturbers or what, or they really believe this, but there's some people out there that just are hell-bent on not cooperating and trying to help. Or they're not thinking correctly or something. I don't know. It's just, they got to put some stuff aside. I guess a lot of the stuff that's being done in Washington, that they're having problems passing and things like this, were things that the parties agreed on not many years ago, but now they want to win. Each side wants to win. I tend to lean more Democrat or Libertarian than Republican, definitely, but because I don't like the fact that they use so many social issues to try and get their agenda across. Because of the agenda, if their regular things stood out there, they wouldn't get passed, but if they put some social thing, a hot button issue, it seems to want to, maybe get votes. But there was a time where that didn't matter and both sides seemed to work. But I remember my dad for years now. I remember when I think about watching TV, we used to watch the news and everything, and he would just get exasperated. The system isn't working. It just isn't working anymore. Something's broken. It's not working. Something needs to change. And he was one who wouldn't tolerate bullshit at all, as you know, because you met him. So.
And what did you say that he said about the past administrations?
He was a Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan type Republican. He liked Barry Goldwater and like that, and he. He was a Republican, and he was, but he didn't discount other beliefs or plans if they frickin' worked. He was also in a union. He was on the e-board of the local photographers guild in Hollywood, and so he saw a lot of sides. Like, for instance, I know when the e-board down there, I believe there was a thing where they used to have their money in Bank of America down there on Sunset, somewhere down there. And it became to pass that B of A fired their regular employees and hired temps so they wouldn't have to pay them health care. Well, the local 600 down there took their money out of B&A because they didn't, So, he saw that side of it too, besides being pretty conservative about things. Mm-hmm. He liked Ronald Reagan, although he also realized he was full of shit. He liked George Bush the senior, but as time went on after the Clinton thing and watching Fox News religiously or whatever, he switched.
Right.
He got turned off. He hated flag waving. He didn't think that was necessary to be a good American. And he fought in 2 wars and covered many more as a combat cameraman or a photographer with the news agencies. And I remember one thing he used to tell me, and I'm curious to see, because I don't have cable, I don't have Watch TV, but he used to cover the riots and stuff like Watts and also up in Berkeley during the 60s. And he used to always comment, he says he would shoot film, for the news of, there'd be just as many clean-cut kids in suits and ties throwing trash cans through buildings and stuff and protesting and all that. But when he went on the news, all you saw was the tie-dye, wackiest weirdos. And it's kind of funny because I think that's being done now. At the Occupy Wall Street and all that. I know on like some conservative things, they're playing up the weirdos with the drugs and the sex. So, I mean, that shit was going on back in the 60s. One thing, so, it's just, like I said, cooperation. Somebody's got to knuckle under and say, look, enough is enough. We've got to solve these problems.
Great.
And I don't know any other way to do it, but people have to put aside winning and losing. That's what it comes down to.
Cool. So the second question is, what is your occupation, and has your quality of life diminished or improved?
Well, when I'm working freelance with a film company, with a friend of mine in Germany on documentaries, mostly pertaining to the Cold War, although I did work on one without him on vaudeville, which is kind of weird. But I worked on about 8 or 9 documentaries, and so I've gotten into the government things, the way things work and stuff, and makes me all more suspicious about governments. As far as, the last job I was offered less money because there's less money to go around. So things have gone a little bit, and I never asked for much considering what I did. I haven't seen it, I used to ask for the same rate for like the last 8 films over the past few years or 5 years or whatever like that. So it was, it's gone down because this is all they got. And I wanted to work and I need the money, so I'll take less money. But, I live here, and there's in Mesa, you drive around Arizona, and I saw this last year where when I was going out with my sister and brother-in-law, we go to the movies, and I said, well, where are we going to eat? Well, let's go here. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're closed. Well, let's go over to so-and-so. Damn, they're closed too. I mean, there's big malls down here, strip malls, that are just shut down because there's no one buying anything or they overextended or overbuilt. I don't know the answer. But, there's less and less money being spent. So everyone's hurting. I know 2 stores that close by. There was a Borders and a Staples right down the street. They're gone. But yet Best Buy is open and they're crooks.